If I told you right now that you've been lied to your whole life, would you believe me? Well, get ready to have your mind fucking blown. I hope you got a strong stomach, because what I'm about to tell you is gonna keep you up for a couple days, son. You think you've been down the rabbit hole? You ain't seen nothing. I'm talking about children's stories, nursery rhymes, and all the songs you heard all your life. It's all lies. It's all bullshit. Yeah, the characters are real, but the way the stories went down sure as fuck ain't. Start off with poor Jimmy. You know, Jimmy Crack Corn, the song Jimmy Crack Corn, and I don't care. The only fucking truth to that story is that I don't fucking care. I don't give a fuck who cracks what the fuck. Doesn't concern me. But I do know for a fact that it wasn't Jimmy who cracked no fucking corn. You see, not a lot of people knew this, but Jimmy had a half-brother, Tommy, who just happened to be mentally retarded. He used to drool on himself, and he'd go out in his daddy's cornfield and he'd crack the fuck out of that corn. And Jimmy tried to stop him because he knew that Tommy would get beat way worse than Jimmy ever did. It was like their daddy was trying to beat the retard right out of him. And Jimmy just couldn't bear the thought of him getting another beating the way his daddy would whoop him, and so Jimmy took the fall for his brother Tommy, for that little retard, that goofy bastard. And Jimmy's life was never the same after that. His grades went down and his girlfriend dumped him. The only time his friends would ever talk to him was just to throw rocks at him and call him a corn-cracking piece of shit. And Jimmy couldn't handle it anymore. He was at the end of his rope. So he went out in the horse barn one night and he hung himself. All because he just wanted to spare Tommy one more retarded beating. That's pretty bad. Poor Jimmy. Now we'll move on to the next one. Now, you know about Jack and Jill and how they used to go up hills and fetch water. Well, that part's true, but on one particular day, although Jack thought he was going up to fetch some water, Jill had other plans. See, Jack didn't know this, but Jill was hard after Jack for a lot of years. She used to flick a bean thinking about Jack all the time. And today was the day she was gonna make this stuff happen. And don't you gotta keep in mind, Jill was no little tiny girl. She'd been fetching water, going up and down hills, carrying buckets full of water for years with Jack. So you think Jack was ripped up? Well, this bitch had fucking power lifter legs. She had arms like Hulk Hogan. Jill couldn't be fucked with. When Jill wanted something, she got it. And if she wouldn't get it, she'd take it. Well, today, she was taking Jack's dick. Or at least she thought she was. So Jack was down, hunched over. He was filling his bucket full of water. And she said, "Hey, Jack, is your jug filled yet? How about filling these jugs with your cum?" He looked up, and there she is, flopping her big old Jill titties out. And Jack didn't know what to do. Before he knew it, she was up against him, rubbing on his dick, and he said, "No, Jill," and he stumbled back, tripped over a rock, and he fell down that fucking hill. It wasn't because he was clumsy, it was because he was trying not to get raped by that whore. And then the story being told around the world that Jill come tumbling after. She didn't tumble, fuck all. Jill ran. She ran her heart out because she didn't care if Jack was dead, alive, unconscious. She knew she was gonna get some dick, and that's all she cared about. Now, that's the only part of the story I know truth to. I've heard stories about what happened at the end when they got to the bottom of the hill, but I don't know if I trust where the sources come from, and I'm not gonna speculate. But I do know one thing, that about a week and a half later, Jack went to his doctor, got tested, and ended up with hepatitis and a little bit of gonorrhea and